Hello, my name is John Galvin. I was born on May 8th, 1969, and I was given up for adoption at birth. It's been a long trip, a long travel, these last 20 years, to try to find my biological family. And now I'm going up to see my sister and my aunt for the very first time at the age of 50. And there are absolutely no words that I could possibly fathom to encapsulate what I'm feeling. No words. But this is going to be literally the first day of the rest of my life. I'll see you up there. I'm on the train, everything's going on time, everything's on schedule. There was one quick little change, and Audrey called and asked if I could get off a stop earlier, so I'm getting off at Cortland instead of Peekskill. And I'm going to see my Aunt Audrey, and my sister Linda's going to be picking me up.
The next station is Ludlow.
Next station, Ludlow. I'm one station closer to my family. So, my wife, I got my glasses. My glasses. So my wife, Kristen, is staying home. I'm taking this initial journey alone. There's a few reasons. She really didn't want to leave the dogs alone. Is a big reason because our car is in the shop. So we're not going to be dragging the dogs onto a train for a trip all day, and then honestly just end up being dog babysitters because they're going to be so excited. So she also thought that me and my sister and my aunt may need a little private time, a little high time, a little us time. Hi.
As you leave the train, please watch the gap between the train and the platform.
This is on par for me. You know, and the reason I'm doing this alone is a perfect reason. It really is. But my whole life I've done things alone anyway. So I'm kind of self-trained for this. But anyway, Linda was texting with me last night, and apparently she's been cooking up a storm, and she's been as crazily excited as I am. So this is going to be great. I've been making contact with more and more of my family, and every time I do, my heart feels a little bit bigger. It really does. And this is literally, as I said before, the first day of the rest of my life. I can't wait to see how it goes. I was just starting to race. You know, and it was weird because I had like this calm down moment for a minute. Like, everything just seemed like calm. Everything just seemed like there was nothing going on. And that didn't last. So, Croton Harmon, next station. I'm at the transfer. And the weird thing is, I have been in this whole area so much of my life. To have been so close, physically so close, so often in 50 years is weird. All right, let's see. All right, at Croton Harmon now, waiting for the transfer. And I don't know if my brain has ever moved this fast before in my life. The train's supposed to be coming. So, here we go. Okay, the train's not here. Said the train's supposed to be here. The train's not here. don't even see the train. I know, it's coming, but you know what? Ultimately, no matter how fast it got here, it's still not going to be fast enough. This is taking forever. Wait. Look. Down there, can you see it? All the way in the distance. That little bit of light. Right there. That's the train that's going to take me to see my biological family. That's the train that's going to take me to see my sister and aunt. But it's all the way back there. You know, maybe if I move closer to it as it's moving closer to me, it'll get here faster. Come on! Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. Be here by 4:30 cause I've made the reservation. Ah, finally. Finally. Alright, time to get on. You forgot your flash drive. You forgot your flash drive. You forgot your flash drive. I don't know why I'm thinking of like the Sheldon Cooper right now. So, I know this may be considered in bad taste, but everything I've been through, I just say to hell with it. Alright, I thought of a joke. Being an adoptee, I thought of an adoption joke. Hey, it's about me, and I'm cool with it, so it's cool. So, how do you tell an adoptee at a party? Because they leave with someone different than they came with. Oh, my mind is getting a little crazy right now. So we're getting so close. I've always loved upstate New York. I always loved the Peekskill, Cortland Manor, Bear Mountain, Mohegan Lake area. I've always loved this area. I came up here so many times to see my cousins when I was a kid. Have Thanksgiving, during the summer, going to Lake Peekskill. Had a lot of fun. I still can't believe that I would have known the same area if my life had been different. That's really strange. Getting there, closing in. Almost there. At the end of a 50-year-long journey. I sometimes forget that I'm not the only one taking this journey. You've all been taking it with me. So it's probably feeling just about as strange to some of you. I've always loved this area. When I was a kid, I always thought to myself, if I ever moved out of Manhattan, this area, these areas here, would be the only place I'd really
Also
like to
stopping and
be.
leaving the train.
All right, here I go. I did not have either the time nor the energy last night on my trip back from upstate, coming back home, to talk about what happened. I was exhausted. Well, honestly, truth be told, I didn't get a hell of a lot of sleep the night before. You can imagine. So when I got off the train, of course, I made a mistake and got off on the wrong side. And I'm standing there for a few minutes looking around. Like, oh, Linda said she was on her way. She should be here by now. That's strange. I'll just wait. Wait like a minute. And next thing I know, I hear, dummy, you're on the wrong side. Look up. And then up on the upper level on the other side of the track, if I had gone down that side, there was Linda. So I rushed over and I met her, and we hugged for like 5 minutes straight. Just a good, hard hug. And we both needed that. We both did, and it was good. So my sister Linda then drove me to a church that my mother used to go to and found a lot of solace at. I'm glad she had a place to make her feel good. And that's where my Aunt Audrey was, who was integral in the entire adoption process of my first chapter. And she was so happy, and she was showing me off to the congregation and introducing me to people there that knew my mother, and they all had really, really nice things to say about her. And that made me feel really good that she was surrounded by these people during the last years. People that cared about her. That made me feel very good. So from there we went back to my Aunt Audrey's house. We made a pit stop just down the road, a couple of doors. My cousin Josette. So I got a chance to meet her and her husband Jim as well. And that was really great. They were there. My nephew Tony, he drove down from Poughkeepsie with his wife, so many names, Dawn. No, Sandy. And the little one. And that was a lot of fun. And it just, the whole day, just hearing these family stories about my mom, about Linda growing up, Josette growing up, the interactions. It was amazingly fun. I had such a great time. Oh, and then while I was there, my sister April, who we keep missing each other, we messaged each other back and forth. We tried calling, we missed each other, and I was starting to get a little nervous about that. You know, I hope April doesn't think that I'm dissing her or anything like that, or on purpose avoiding her. And she doesn't think that, so that was wonderful to me. She called, and I got to speak to my sister April on the phone, and she only lives right next to me in Jersey. So next week or two, we're gonna make a plan, and I'm gonna get a chance to meet another sister of mine. So that's awesome. That's really great. That's beautiful. My niece Cindy called while I was there, and I got a chance to talk to her. And we've been messaging back and forth, but it was really nice to hear her voice and to speak to her, and that it was just so much fun. I can't begin to explain the feeling of it all. Not just because of the fact that, you know, I'm with my blood relatives who've known about me my whole life, and in most cases, to one degree or another, they've been looking for me. But it's more of the fact of where they live and how close they are to my adopted family. Physically, I mean close, distance-wise. You know, standing outside Aunt Audrey's house and looking at Bear Mountain seemed normal to me because I've done it so often in my life. But we did find something out. Now, I have had this question in my mind for a few years, for most of my life, actually. So when I was really little, when I was about 6 or 7 years old, me and my best friend, Dennis Waldron, that I grew up with and still buddy around with after all these decades. So he's down in my apartment, and we're just playing. You know, we're kids. We're in my room. I got toys. You know, we're just playing. And a stranger came to the door and started talking to my mom about the fact that one of her friends told this agency, this talent agency, about me, and how they think that I'd be great for show business, for be an actor. So, you know, you tell that to a little kid who's already a bit of a ham, and I was like, ah! You know, my mom was like, well, let's wait till your father gets home and talk to him about it. So, of course, you know, Dad had red flags going up about this whole thing, and however he did it, he looked into this and found out that it was legitimate. So they decided to give me the classes. But the thing is, I asked my mom, you know, because she said there was a friend of hers that did this, right? So I asked my mom, and I did again several times over the years, you know, who was it? Because, I mean, that's like a pretty awesome thing to do for a kid, you know? My mother never told me, which I always found weird. Well, it's one of my mom's friends. Why wouldn't she tell me and I could thank them? Okay. So while I was talking with Aunt Audrey, I asked her about this. And it turns out that my Aunt Barbara, my adopted family, my Aunt Barbara, the lady she was with when I was born, and the two of them, along with my biological Aunt Audrey, were the ones that set up this whole adoption thing. My Aunt Barbara's girlfriend was Marguerite. And as soon as I told this story about how for, I think it was like 2 years, I took acting classes and did some public access shows through that for this company called Star TV Studios. And as soon as I said that, I could see the light bulb pop up on Aunt Audrey's head. And she told me that my Aunt Margaret used to work for a talent agency, and she swore that was the name of it. That would make sense. She was one of the ladies involved in my adoption. My mom didn't want me to know about it because she was so scared. It was Marguerite. She's the one that signed me up for this. And I was talking to my wife Kristen last night about this. And this might not be the case, but I theorize that the reason Marguerite did this was that so I would eventually come back to the family's attention. That if she was able to get me these acting classes and I flew with them and I did anything at all that would have caused me to have any sort of acting career, I think Margaret was kind of hoping that would be one day my birth mother or Linda or Aunt Audrey or someone would see the name, recognize the name, and apparently from what my relatives told me yesterday, I have very strong family looks, specifically of the Odell family. They said I have very strong Odell features. So there would have been a really good chance putting that all together, knowing my name, seeing the features on my face when I had become famous from acting, that my birth family would have been able to find me. I'm never going to be able to prove this because all the principles are past. But that makes sense. That makes sense. But it was an amazing time. While I was on the phone with my sister April, we were making plans to hang out. Like I said, she's only right nearby in Jersey. and I'm gonna have to get down. I want to see my other sister Elizabeth. She's not that far. She's in Virginia, and I can make that trip. So I'm gonna have to plan that out and go down and see her, and that's gonna be very special. That is. So that is what happened yesterday in a nutshell. Not gonna get into every single conversation and story about my family and my mother because that's very personal to me, and I'm really glad that I have that. But they were all good stories, even the stories that without taking it into perspective might come off as a little, why did a person do that? But I'm smart enough to realize that when you look at what happened in the time period that it happened in, and everything else evolving around the story, I understand. I understand a lot of the things that I was told. They make sense to me. But I'm so looking forward now for the next step of my journey and start, seeing my other siblings and any other nieces and nephews or grandnephews or my little baby grandnephew. That's going to be really cool. But it was an amazing day yesterday. Thank you all for being a part of this, for following this journey, and it's going to be continuing. I still have more journeys to make. I want to thank you all. It was good. And if you're watching this and you're an adoptee, don't stop. If that's what you want to do, don't stop. All right? Do a DNA check. You might have to do it with several other companies. Go on Facebook. There's a lot of adoptee support groups like Search Squad and DNA detectives, and they're going to be there and they're going to help you. All right? You can get through this. It took me 20 years. Don't forget that. It took me 20 years to get through this. And I'm happy I saw it through to the end. So stay true to yourself. Best of luck. I'll see you soon. Now, before I start my job, there's one other thing that was the most amazing thing about my visit, and I want to share that with you. It's my mother's voice.
For messages, press 1. To change your greeting, press saved message, March 17th, 2008, 11:08 a.m. Sent by unknown caller.
Yeah, hi, Seth. Of course, this is your sister. I have real good news to tell you. Okay, give me a call. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Love you, so. Bye-bye.